What's up, everyone? Welcome to This Day in Philly Sports History for November 24th, 2024. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to an Eagles Game Day Sunday edition of the podcast, Sunday Night Football. I hate primetime games. Absolutely hate them. Too late, and that's why we're getting out the podcast out a little late today. I slept in a little bit so I could make sure I stayed up, but I absolutely hate primetime games. Almost as much as I hate West Coast games for the Phillies, Sixers, and Flyers. But I digress. Some quick housekeeping notes before we get into today's episode. Completely missed this yesterday, but the St. Joe's women's field hockey team did defeat the North Carolina Tar Heels women's team, giving them their first loss of the season and moving on to the championship game for the national championship for field hockey. That is this afternoon. I believe it's at 1 or 1:30. So good luck to the Hawks as they look to bring home the national title. They're taking on Northwestern, the 3 seed, and I think St. Joe's was the 4 seed. So probably will be keeping an eye on the score of that game throughout my football viewing, as well as getting the Christmas stuff down from the storage, which is always fun, but it is what it is. Also, good luck, and a lot of people are out there running already, but good luck to everyone in the Philadelphia Marathon today. I ran it back in 2017, so I know what it's like. So good luck, and congratulations to everybody who finished and ran either the half marathon or the marathon today. Good luck to you. Be sure to follow me on social media, Jimbo_Mont on Twitter and TikTok. On Instagram, at PhillyJimbo. Continue to spread the word. Like, subscribe, all that other good stuff. And we're halfway through now our gift and food drive. We doubled our donations from last year. Let's keep it going. There's still a week left to get that together. I'll be making a trip to the Maddie Ann Dixon Community Cupboard probably on Monday. I'm off of work, so I'll probably go Monday to drop off the gift cards. But any little bit helps. All the information you need is in the description. But thank you for your support so far. And let's continue to make some holiday magic happen. Let's start with a recap of yesterday's question of the day. It was the birthday of the Big Five. So I asked you, does the Big Five matter today? And it was a 50-50 split, and I can see it. To me, it's nice to still see those rivalries, as I mentioned yesterday. But big picture, I guess at the end of the day, it's all about making the NCAA tournament. But thank you to everyone who participated in the question of the day. There will be another one later in the show. All right, big game for the Flyers yesterday. 3-2 overtime. They beat the Chicago Blackhawks, got down 2-0 early, rallied to tie it in the third. Sean Couturier and Noah Cates both scoring goals to tie it. And then in overtime, Michkov Mania ran wild on the Blackhawks. The game winner. Second time he's done a overtime game winner this year. I'm telling you, the future is bright. Michkov Mania was running wild and then had an amazing quote, which Ryan from Philly Goat, if you're listening, I think this would make a great t-shirt. He said via the translator, when you get the moment, you have to be cold-blooded and realize it. What a quote. I just thought that quote was great. That's such a Philly hockey quote. And Michkov Mania is running wild. Second overtime game winner goal of the year. Always seems to be in the right place at the right time. So good win for the Flyers. Good battle back. And then Michkov Mania ran wild in the overtime period. But I like that. When you get the moment, you have to be cold-blooded and realize it. And boom, did he take advantage of it. So the Flyers with the 3-2 overtime win over the Blackhawks yesterday. And now to the opposite end of the spectrum, Sixers in action tonight versus the Clippers at the Wells Fargo Center. Will this be a nice little appetizer for the Eagles game? I don't know. We'll see if Joe plays or if his knee still hurts. I don't know what to make, but I will be excited to see a little bit of Jarrett McCain and Tyrese Maxey playing together. But Sixers-Clippers tonight, I believe it's a 6 p.m. tip at the Wells Fargo Center. And then be sure to check out my boys over at the Clashing Conferences podcast. Good stuff happening over there, creating a nice little sports fans network. the OG crew from the NFC East. Great episode this week. That is available wherever you get your podcasts as well as on YouTube. And then go to Philly Goat. Not too early to start your holiday shopping. They got the insulated coolers, either the backpack or the duffel bag. They got you covered with the shirts. You want to express your anger with the Sixers. They got the Angry Sixers fan t-shirt, the NFC East parody shirts. You name it, they got you covered. So go to phillygoat.com. Be sure to use the promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off of your order. We do have some Phillies news, and I'm not sure really how to feel about this. I didn't report this yesterday because I'm still trying to process it, but they didn't tender an offer to Austin Hayes, so he'll be a free agent. That unfortunately for him, he caught a couple bad breaks since being traded. Garrett Stubbs, though, signed a 1-year contract, and so did Jose Ruiz. But this Stubbs thing has me stumped here because part of the plan, I think, this year, they said, was going to be resting JT. Now, that's a huge drop-off offensively when Stubbs is in there. Stubbs does have an option left, so I don't know if it's going to be an open competition for the backup catcher with Rafael Marchand. But then the issue is with Marchand, he gets hurt all the time. So I don't know. I think you could have done better than Stubbs, but I don't know. I mean, he's a good vibes guy, though, and that's gotten us how many World Series? I think it's time to move on and kind of shake up some players in this locker room, but I don't know. Marchand, I think, is the better player, but he can't stay healthy. I still think there has to be something better out there, but that's your Phillies news for today. Lots of rumors, still trade rumors, and they're going to sign this guy, go after this guy. I feel like it's that point of the year heading into the owners' meetings where you're going to hear a lot of crazy stuff. So let's just... taking a wait-and-see approach here, but the Stubbs thing just really has me confused. I don't get it, I don't understand it, and I certainly don't like it. But it is the Eagles game day. It does look like Britton Covey was activated to the active roster, likely will be returning punts, which helps take some of the injury risk off of Cooper DeJean. But let's get into the 3 keys of the game. As of this morning, the spread on this game was 3. The over-under was 49. It's kind of a high total if you ask me. More on that in a minute. But how can the Eagles win this game? I think you're traveling across country. It's certainly going to be a tough test for the secondary. But how do they win this game? And I think the first key, the Rams defense, even though Aaron Donald retired, is still not too bad. They get after the quarterback, so you got to protect Hurts. And he's struggled at times this year with pressure, and you've seen it the past couple games. He sort of regressed a little bit. Like there for a while, he was making sharp decisions, quick decisions, and looked like he had some of his swag back. A little bit, I think he may have suffered a concussion the last game, but was very kind of slow with it, and you got to protect him. Make sure he has time to make the decisions and the reads. The Rams don't necessarily blitz a lot, but they do a lot of pre-snap movement and confusion, and historically that has been one of the issues heading into the season specifically that Jalen has struggled with. So he needs time. It's good. This is going to be a Jalen Hurts game, because the Rams are solid against the run, so they're going to be keying on Saquon Barkley. I don't think you abandon the run, though, Nick. If you're listening, don't abandon the run, because you're going to wear that defense down, and we've seen it over this winning streak where they do it, and then all of a sudden he breaks one in the third or the fourth quarter. So don't abandon it, but Jalen's going to have to make some plays, so you're going to have to give him some time. So make sure he's got a clean pocket. He has to play smart, and in order for him to play smart, he's going to need time. So you got to protect Jalen Hurts at all costs. Second key, on the flip side, you got to pressure Matthew Stafford. He will throw some interceptions. He will make some bad throws. He also can pick you apart if you give him all day. So this is coming down to the whole defense. I mean, I've been saying it all year. Do your job. So the linemen, do your job. Linebackers, do your job. Secondary, do your job. I think the secondary is going to have to help and it's going to be a tough test, but help the line out. That's one of the keys during this turnaround is the secondary has been shut down, locked down, and allowing the defensive linemen to get after it. So Jalen Carter, I need you to be a force in there, and just I'm really excited to see what Quinyon, Cooper, and Slay do against Nakua and why can't I think of his name? Oh my god, Cooper. I can't think of his name. It'll come to me. But I'm anxious to see what they're able to do against this team because this is by far the biggest test for them. But I think you got to. Oh my gosh, it's bothering me. I can't think of this guy's name. But you have to put pressure on Stafford. You cannot allow him. Cooper Kupp. Jesus. You can't let him just sit back there and pick you apart. And especially in a game that figures to be close, you got to get some turnovers. And that leads into the third key to the game. This is going to be a close game. I don't necessarily see this being a blowout. So you can't leave points on the field. So Jake Elliott, you got to get right. You cannot be missing field goals and extra points. And then it comes down to you, Nick. You cannot make silly decisions. Be smart. I'm not saying don't go for it on fourth down, but make sure you're being smart about what you're doing. Continue to do what you've been doing. So those are the three keys of the game. Protect Jalen Hurts, get some pressure on Stafford and make him make bad plays, and then don't leave points on the field. Whether it's missed kicks, whether it's penalties, whether it's going for it on fourth down when you should kick it, you cannot. It's imperative that you don't leave points on the field. So where does that leave for the pick? This is the classic letdown spot for the Eagles. Big division win, flying across country, big game next week against Baltimore, kind of the one game we've had circled all year, kind of the measuring stick. Two teams that have Super Bowl aspirations. It's going to be a close game. But I really believe that this team is a Super Bowl contender. I really believe Nick Sirianni has got them ready to play, has them believing in themselves. I don't think he has them set up for letdown games. Now, does that mean they go in there and roll the Rams? No, the games are always somewhat close when they go out to LA. But he'll have them ready to play. I think they avoid the letdown. I do believe this team is a Super Bowl contender. I believe today is the day they show it. It's going to be an ugly win. I think it's going to be one of those games where you come out of it and you feel exhausted because it's just going to be one of those back and forths and it's going to be edge of your seat. The spread is 3. I think the Eagles cover that barely. I'm seeing a low-scoring game. I really like the under in this game. I don't think either team is going to put up a ton of points. I'm thinking like 24-20, 20-16, that type of game. Eagles cover and win. That's our official pick. We're 5-5 on the year. I do like, if you want a bonus, I do like the under. I think 49 is just way too high for this game. But I think the Eagles are the better team. I think it's going to be a dogfight, and they come out and show that they're the better team. We come out of this feeling like, okay, this team is a legit Super Bowl contender. And I believe it. They come out and show it. Everybody's starting to feel it. Nick Sirianni is going to have this team ready to play. Eagles 20, Rams 16. The under comes in. The Eagles cover, but barely. But this is not going to be this is going to be one of those games where you're going to be up every minute until the final buzzer. So it's going to be a late night, early day for work tomorrow. But go Birds. By the way, we're 5-5 on the year on our pick, so hopefully that will get us back on the winning side of that. All right, we are officially at the point in the year on this podcast where we could do a This Day in Wilt Chamberlain history every day, but we're not. We are today, though. We're going to go back to 1960. And on this day in 1960, the Celtics beat the Philadelphia Warriors 132-129 to remain in first place down at Convention Hall on Thanksgiving Day. Wilt Chamberlain led all scorers with 34 points. He also happened to set an NBA record this day that still stands with 55 rebounds. You heard that correct. 55 rebounds, breaking Bill Russell's mark of 51. He had 31 in the first half, which is also a record later broken by Bill Russell a couple years later. But this is one of those records I feel that probably will never be broken. Nobody's really gotten close to 55 since then. Wilt Chamberlain was just a beast, and 8 of the 10 top rebounding days in NBA history belong to either Wilt, or Wilt's tied with either himself or Bill Russell. So to kind of put this in perspective, 55 rebounds. Since the ABA-NBA merger in 1976, the record for most rebounds in a game is 37 by Moses Malone when he was playing for the Rockets. Breaking that down even further, in the last 30 years, so since 1994, the highest rebounding total in a game is 33 by Charles Barkley in 1996. Last year, Yusuf Nurkic, for, I forget what team he plays for now, the Suns, he had 31 rebounds in a game. So it's very, very rare that somebody gets even to 30 rebounds. So I think that Wilt's 55 rebounds is relatively safe. Just to throw it out there, another Philly connection, that 1960-61 Warriors team would lose in the first round of the playoffs to the Syracuse Nationals, who would later become their replacement in Philly and become our Philadelphia 76ers. So just figured I'd throw that out there. But on this day in 1960, Wilt Chamberlain set an NBA record with 55 rebounds in a game, likely something that will never be broken. And I mean, the closest we've come is 37 since the more modern times with the ABA-NBA merger. So on this day in Wilt Chamberlain history, he had 55 rebounds, setting an NBA record. And then finally today, leading up to Thanksgiving, we've been talking about what we're thankful for in Philly sports. And even though he did not win the Cy Young this year, came in second place again, we are certainly thankful for Zack Wheeler. And since signing with the Phillies in 2019, all he's done is be one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball. 59-32 record with a 2.94 ERA. I didn't realize his ERA was that low. Three complete games, 2 shutouts, almost 900 strikeouts. He's averaging 180 per year, and one of those years was the COVID year when they played like 50 games. He had a high mark of 247 in 2021. He's made 2 All-Star games, 2 Cy Young runners-up. He had won a Gold Glove, and really, we're really thankful for him because he is the only player on that team who showed up to the postseason this year, and they blew it for him. He does have a legitimate shot to reach 2,000 strikeouts. I know back when I was growing up, the benchmark was 3,000, but it's a different type of game. So to get to 2,000 strikeouts is phenomenal. He is our ace, and that is why we're thankful for Zack Wheeler as we head into Thanksgiving, all in honor of our gift and food drive benefiting the Mattie Ann Dixon Community Cupboard. There's still time to give. The link is in the description. Let's make some holiday magic happen and just help our friends and neighbors and just show what we can do and let them be thankful for helping have their holiday season be saved. Zack Wheeler, we're thankful for you. You are our ace, and thank you for just being an awesome pitcher. On this day in 1960, the Warriors lost to the Celtics, but Wilt Chamberlain had 55 rebounds, which set an NBA record that still stands today. We will have the breakdown of the Eagles game tomorrow. We'll vote for our GOAT of the game. But the 3 keys: protect Jalen, get after Stafford, and don't leave points on the ball. On the field. This is gonna be a close game. Cannot be missing kicks. Cannot be going for silly 4th downs. Be smart, everybody. Do your job. The Eagles should win this game. They are the better team. I think they prove it and cement themselves as one of the legitimate Super Bowl contenders out of the NFC. It's going to be a late one, though. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for November 24th, 2024. My name is Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Sunday, and until next time, go Birds.